Yeah, man, this is what Cadillac told him, man. You want your car to look like this, man, you ain't got to do nothing, come to the door and hand your keys out. But first, you just got to call this number right here. All you got to do is call that number right there. I guarantee you get the best car wash you ever had in your life. I promise you that.
There's a gulf between us and our youth. They're not coming to us. When we try to reach them, we fall into that gulf. But those who came before us, they built bridges. They sacrificed. They paid it forward. Now, it's our turn. The bridge is communication. When communication dies, the relationship dies. We must become bridge builders to the next generation. Bridge building to the next generation, your powerful guide.
You've tried talking, you've tried teaching, you've tried leading, but today's youth, they're not responding. And it's not because you don't care, it's because the bridge is broken. Bridge building to the next generation by LP, like Paul, is the guide you've been waiting for. Written by a mentor who spent decades in barbershops, classrooms, and community trenches, this book doesn't just talk about youth. It reaches them. Inside, you'll find real stories, spiritual insight, and practical tools to help you reconnect. Because before you call youth to purpose, you've got to rebuild trust. And trust starts with understanding. The foundation for teaching youth is a desire to understand. We need more that shines as an example than speaks as a critic. If you're tired of the disconnect, if you're ready to lead with legacy, this book is your blueprint. Bridge Building to the Next Generation by LP, like Paul. Available now. Don't just reach out, build the bridge.
What it do, man? Let's get it. Welcome to the Trap Plan Radio. 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 Man, what it do, man? It's your boy LP, aka LPZ, and I'm turned up and I ain't turning down no time soon. You feel me? So what's happening? I want you to share this video, man. I just click share. Boop. Just click share. You ain't gotta share to nobody in particular. Just click share. You know what I'm saying? And after you click share, say LP, we tapped in. You feel me? We finna talk about it. We finna talk about it. We finna make it do what it do. You feel me? So I need a couple of people to share this video right quick. Hey, because welcome to the Trap Plan Radio. 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 Yeah, man, I need a couple of more shares, man. You know what I mean? Share this video. You know what I'm saying? And tell somebody, tap in. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we need everybody to do. Tap in. You know? So we can talk about this issue. Talk about this epidemic. Yes, sir. So yeah, man, there's been a lot going on. A lot of stuff going on since the last time we saw each other. You know what I'm saying? I just want to let you know, man, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. Thank you so very much for tapping in and rocking out with us on a Trap Plan Radio, man. We talk about this particular issue. And man, we gonna talk about a lot of things that is pulling at us right now, you know. And we're going to talk about the issue of the loneliness epidemic. The loneliness epidemic. We have a lot of people that are, we're in a time right now in history. We're in a time in history where humans are more lonely than they've ever been. And it's hard for us to grab a hold of that idea because, we're well connected, right? Well, at least we feel we are well connected. You got all your cousins. We got all our cousins on our Facebook page. We got all our aunties, uncles, people we went to college with, people we went to high school with. They are on our Facebook page. And we get the opportunity to see them when they get a new car. We saw when they got, when their children went off to elementary school. We saw when their children went off to college. We saw whenever their children got their first car. We saw when you get what I'm saying? Like, we saw all that among each other, right? So because we're connected. But that's not the case. We have all this technology, and currently we're lonelier than we've ever been. And we just going to talk about it, just deal with this reality, this unfortunate reality. And I'm just going to go through it real quick, man. Just share this information. Again, man, please share this video, man, and encourage somebody to check this out, what we talking about, because we talking about some real stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely want to hear your thoughts and your perspectives on what's being said. So let's jump right into it. The loneliness epidemic, a silent crisis, is unfolding across our communities. Loneliness has been declared a serious public health epidemic. Yes, a public health epidemic affecting millions and reshaping how we connect, live, and thrive together. Let's get into the grits and gravy of this thing. Let's look at the first aspect, digital division. Everybody say digital division. Trending topics as weapons. Have y'all not paid attention to that? The fact that a lot of these trending topics that we are experiencing and that we're seeing, every time a new trending topic drops and is put out there, everybody's forced to pick a side. And I want you to pay attention to how it goes whenever somebody picks a side. Everybody that has the opposing thought makes the people who don't agree with them, makes those people become an enemy to them. Now, here it is. This is your loved one who y'all grew up together. Y'all shared socks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had this. One of y'all had to sleep at the foot of the bed. The other one had to sleep at the head. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the type of people that you are having hard, drawn out, nasty conversations on social media because of a trending topic that y'all disagree with one another in. And you made a decision. I'm done with them. I ain't talking to them no more. I don't fool with them no more for no other reason but because they disagree with you on a social media trending topic. The people that put this stuff out here, they understand the psychology behind humans. And so the more we are becoming we're becoming ingrained in focusing on self. We can't focus on nobody else but self. We're overwhelmed with self. You sitting at home, you feel me? You go to work, you got your headphones on at work. You don't talk to none of your coworkers. You feel me? You got your headphones on. You talking to your social media chat group that you cool with, right? These are the only people that you're talking to and dealing with. You don't deal with your coworkers. You go home, you hurry up and you go straight home. And you pull up and you know what I'm saying? You get on your phone, you get on a computer, you feel me? And you are focused on the new trending topic. And you sit there in your recliner for hours. Or you done took your shower and you done got in the bed and you lay in the bed for hours with your phone in your face, looking at trending topics, arguing with people who you know and love, going back and forth with them people. Social media algorithms amplify divisive content, turning trending topics into tools that provoke conflict and create us versus them mentalities online. Do y'all see how this is being used as a weapon? Listen, this situation that just took place with Pastor Jamal Bryant, his wife had a dress on, and you had 3 weeks of people going back and forth over this dress and should this woman have this dress on and all this other stuff. And then you got folks that you was cool with, you rocked with them, y'all went to high school together, y'all was in college together, it was a co-worker. But because they felt that the dress was okay and the lady was okay for wearing the dress, and then you say, no, she shouldn't have wore the dress. She a woman of God. The woman of God shouldn't wear the dress. And then y'all done went back and forth for 3 days on one thread. Y'all done went back and forth. And so now you don't like them no more. You don't fool with them no more. You deleted them off your friends list and you blocked them. You see how these trending topics are used as weapons? From screens to street. These digital divisions don't stay online. They spill into real life, fracturing relationships and communities that once stood united. See, you done went back and forth with this person on social media about a trending topic, and then you saw them out and about, whether they was on a job, you feel me? Whether it was at the family function, you feel me? You called your cousin and you say, hey, who all over there? And if such and such there, you feel me? You ain't going because you don't fool with them because y'all got into it on Facebook about a particular trending topic. You see how this stuff is spilling into our personal lives and how it's causing serious division, and we're not paying attention to what's going on. Let's look at this other thing that we got going on, the gender war, right? You got the anti-men versus the anti-women. Online narratives put genders against each other, creating hostility where partnership should exist. So you got men and women going back and forth, spewing their talking points on what women should be doing, on what men should be doing, and what women hate about men, and what men hate about women, and everybody going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, women going back and forth. And now you're in a situation where you got men who they don't even want to be bothered with women no more because of they frustration with their arguments and their talking points on social media. So you got men that's like, you know what? I just be single. I don't, you know what I'm saying? And you have to understand how detrimental this is. I hope y'all realize that women are overwhelmingly outnumbering men. I'm talking about on a serious level. On a serious level, because of crime, because of prison, because of, other factors that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Women just outnumber men on a whole nother level. So you got a large percentage of men that's saying, I don't even want to be bothered. I'm just be by myself. You see what I'm saying? There's a statistic came out, said that in the near future, 45% of women aged 25 to 44 are projected to be single and child-free. And this trend is fueled by digital division because of the gender wars that are going back and forth between men and women. You see what I'm saying? Male loneliness crisis. How is there a male loneliness crisis? Toxic masculinity norms. Traditional expectations discourage vulnerability, leaving men isolated and unable to form close relationships. Think about that. So because of the toxic masculinity aspect where, you know, a man ain't supposed to cry, a man can't show vulnerability. And, you know, men will say, you know what, you know, as a man, you know, can't show no weakness. Vulnerability is considered weakness. So because you got men that got all type of stuff going on, and because they can't fit the mold of this macho, hold your feelings and your emotions to yourself and all this other stuff. So because of these different things, you got a lot of men who are going into isolation and they're not even able to form close friendships. Do you know how dangerous that is? Do you know how unfortunate that is? And do you know how much work that we have to do in order to reverse this? Because this operation that we're operating in, this function that we're functioning in, is so detrimental to the human being that there are crises that are taking place because of it. Look at the consequences. The health consequences: isolation leads to depression, heart disease, and increased mortality. Men mask feelings with distractions instead of seeking connection. So you got a lot of men, you know, they just distract themselves. So, you know, they become gamers, you know, so they become overwhelmed with gaming. So much so, you have a lot of men who they'll stay in their home because you know, when we think about gaming, unfortunately, you know, people immediately throw off on young boys and say, you know, that's just young guys that's into this gaming thing. No, there's more grown men that are addicted to gaming than it is children. It's more grown men that are addicted to gaming than it is children. So you got a lot of men that say, you know what, I'm gonna just distract myself and I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm gonna watch my Netflix series. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, play this game and this, that, and the other. And I'm just isolated. It's just me and my video game. You got a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying, they so into that stuff to where, you know, they, oh Lord, you gotta that's crazy. I don't even want to talk about that on here. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother conversation. I'm gonna say it. You got a lot of dudes, they don't want no woman. I just say it like that. They don't want no woman. You feel me? Because they get enough dopamine from playing a video game. You feel me? Can you understand? Like it's just that deep. They get, I get so much dopamine, and they don't know, you know, from you know, in their conscious mind, you know, they're not consciously saying, man, I get so much dopamine playing the video game, I don't even need no stuff from a woman. You see what I'm saying? Like you like, that's a reality that's going on. And they are stuck in isolation, and that isolation leads to depression, heart disease, and increased mortality. So you got a lot of men who are more likely to pass away because of this isolation. You understand? Human beings were not designed to operate like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, watch this. I want to talk about this aspect, the validation trap. Focus on romantic validation replaces broader platonic connections, deepening the crisis. So watch this. You got a lot of people, because they don't fool with nobody, they don't got no friends, they don't deal with their cousins, they don't deal with their aunties and uncles, they don't deal with none of their partners, they don't go out, they don't go hang out, they don't do none of that. So they just go home every day and they put an overwhelming expectation for their significant other to be everything to them, to validate every aspect of them, because they're not getting that validation from their friends. They're not getting that validation from their cousins, from their families, from, you know, They're not participating in extracurricular activities. You know what I'm saying? They're not in a bowling league. They're not in a basketball league. They don't go and shoot pool on Thursdays with their partner. You feel me? They're not going to, you know what I mean, hanging out and this, that. They're not doing none of that. They go home, right? So you got a lot of women. They put in overwhelming expectations for because they like, nope, he can't go nowhere. He got to be right here with me. Right? So she discouraging him from being anywhere because of the fear that he gonna cheat or something like that. So now you got to come home. You got to come home. I ran into a situation where a sister broke it down for me that she buys her old man every video game system and every video game that come out and every whatever surrounding a video game. She buys him all of this stuff and keeps him on that game because that guarantees that he's gonna be at home, and she always know where he gonna be at. You see how wild it is. So now that he always at home and he always up in your face, right? Now there's an expectation for you to validate him at all costs. There's an expectation for you to be his encourager, be his friend, be his buddy, be everything that he would get in everyday platonic relationships if he was hanging out from a community aspect, being around his friends, being around his mom and them, his cousin them, his auntie them, this, that, and the other. If he was functioning like that, he would not have to depend on you to be everything for him in that regard. Now watch this. Because he can't be everything, because you can't be everything for him, now he feel like you don't love him. Now he down. Same thing with the woman. Because you know, women messy, and I don't have no friends, and I don't want to be around, I don't fool with my mama no more. Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't go around my friends because my friends is messy and they don't do right. And in 2026, it's a brand new me, brand new, you know what I'm saying? Brand new year, brand new me, and I ain't fooling with them no more. So now you putting these overwhelming expectations on your old man to provide for you all of what you would get in platonic relationships with your friends, with your family, and stuff like that. You see how that crisis, how effective that is. Now, when it comes to how this affects women, right? Chronic loneliness can triple the risk of early death in middle-aged women. It can triple the risk just from you not fooling with nobody, with you not being around nobody, with you don't deal with people, you don't deal with friends, you don't deal with your cousins, you don't deal with girlfriends, you ain't got none of that. Chronic loneliness can triple the risk of early death in middle-aged women. Mental health. Chronic loneliness significantly increases risk for depression and anxiety disorders. All of these different things, the struggles of you sitting up on the phone, you ain't going nowhere, you ain't hanging with nobody, you ain't got no friends, you ain't got no community element, and these gender expectations, modern dating pressures, right? You didn't got it in your head that you gotta have, your booty gotta stick far from your back, and you gotta have a slim stomach, and you gotta have your eyelashes a certain way, your eyebrows gotta be done a certain way, and you know what I'm saying, you gotta get a tummy tuck, you gotta go get a BBL, you gotta have all of this stuff because you sitting up on the internet and you comparing yourself to all of the different women that's posting stuff and this, that, and the other, and because they got all of these likes and they got all of these comments and shares, and you know what I'm saying, dudes thirsting after them and all that, and all the girls commenting yes, and you know what I'm saying, all that type stuff. So now you feeling the pressure that you gotta go and you gotta do all that, you know what I'm saying, and because you don't look a certain way, because you ain't built a certain way and all this other stuff, right? you got all of these issues going on mentally and emotionally. So because of gendered expectations, modern dating pressures, and age-related isolation creates the perfect storm. Women face cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, disrupted sleep, and shame, all while society tells them to stay strong. So you fighting and you battling all this, and while you fighting and battling all this, society telling you, hey, you got to be strong, right? So, but you by yourself, so you can't be vulnerable with nobody. You can't express how you feeling. You can't express the pain that you experiencing. You can't talk about none of that, right? Because you sitting up on the internet and you gotta compare yourself to all the women that's on the internet, how she built, how she look. You comparing yourself on the internet. Oh, she got a new dude, and this dude taking her to the Bahamas, and then next week he gonna take her to Dubai and this that. And so you looking at all that and you like, oh Lord, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming. What's wrong with me? And then you compare your spouse to her spouse. You see what I'm saying? And because you just sitting up, you don't even fool with your old man. You just sitting in your room on your phone. You feel me? And so now you got all these issues and challenges going on. You see that's how that's affecting the issue of loneliness. Is affecting our women. Now, I want to talk about this one. I want y'all to think through on this as we go through this. Community breakdown, dismantling our foundations. Look at the anti-religious agenda. And because of the anti-religious agenda, church attendance is declining, losing spaces of belonging, shared purpose, and mutual support. Belonging, shared purpose, and mutual support. So now you got the whole anti-religious thing going on, where you got everybody who's waking up and they're deconstructing from the faith and they're deconstructing from religion, right? And so now that they have all this knowledge, that they found the truth, and because they know the truth, and so now they don't go to church no more. They don't even associate with people who go to church, and they look at you like you crazy because you go to church. So now they spend all their time on social media, fussing and arguing with people who do go to church, telling them how stupid they is and how they need to get out of church. And they get mad because people want to keep going to church, right? So these people who go to church have found a sense of community, right? So they have a sense of community, whether you agree with the information or not, whether you agree with the pastor, should the pastor look like this? Should he drive this? And should the pastor have on designer and all this other stuff? That's why I don't go to, no, that's not why you don't go to church. That's not why. Stop lying, right? So now you looking at these other people, they assembling together. And after church, they sit down, they talking with each other, and they girl, how your mama doing? Yeah, girl, mama doing all right. She got this. Okay, we gonna come over there and we gonna talk to her and we gonna pray with her and we gonna bring something to eat over there. You see what I'm saying? Like they got stuff like that going on. We in church, we pulling up on each other, man. And hey, man, what's up, bro? How you been? Man, good to see you, boy. You know what I'm saying? Where your son at? Oh, he over there. Hey, what's up, boy? Hey, come here, man. Boy, you done got tall, boy. I see you, man. So, we spending that time with each other. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, bro? What's been going on? Man, bro, things been a little rough, man. What's up, man? Talk to me, man. So we sitting and we chopping it up, this, that, and the other. Look, I call myself the fellowship king. Anytime I go to church, I'm probably going to be the last person to leave. You see what I'm saying? I'm probably going to be, I'm going to stick around. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to talk to her. We going to talk for about 20 minutes. I'm going to talk to him for about 15 minutes. I'm going to talk to him for about 30 minutes. I'm going to talk to these group of teens for about 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm going to talk, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to invest that time. So this is an opportunity for us to fellowship, because this is a sense of community, right? Because of that sense of community, you know what I'm saying? When my sons, my oldest son, when he graduated from high school, man, my church family, man, they pulled up, man. I'm talking about, providing resources. I'm talking about money. I'm talking about, man, we ain't have to spend a dime on school stuff, dorm room stuff. We ain't have to spend a dime on that stuff, because the community element, the people who I'm connected to in family, as well as people in my church family, you know what I'm saying? They worked, you know what I'm saying? They show love. Shouts out to my church family. Shouts out to my family. You know what I'm saying? All my people back in Mississippi Gulf Coast, New Orleans, all my church family, Faith Chapel, where y'all at, Diplomat Center, everybody. Look, man, people pitched in and they showed love, right? That's a byproduct of community in church. Now watch this. Look at what's going on right now. When you look at this whole thing with this last trending topic that they had, you know what I'm saying, where they showed Drewski, where he was doing what he was doing and all that, and everybody was like, yeah, see, that's why everybody need to leave the church. That's why everybody need to leave church. Y'all need to stay out of there. Okay, so now the people leave the church. Now, when they leave, are you going to provide a sense of community for them? Nope. All you're going to do is make money on social media by you creating content, talking bad about church people, talking bad about people going to church, talking bad about, so everybody is validating you, giving you likes, and you know what I'm saying? You get you a nice little check from Facebook, you get you a nice little check from TikTok, you know what I'm saying? You getting them deposits rolling in because you got them, they left the church and now they sit at home on their phone looking at you. So now they ain't got no community and no sense of community no more, because they want to sit on Facebook at the house and look at you on social media. And now they're experiencing and partaking in this loneliness epidemic. All right. Now we're going to talk about the religious folks. All right. All the saved, sanctified people who, they came to revelation that they need to come away from their fraternities and sororities, right? That everybody need to leave their fraternities and sororities. So now you got the, you got the preachers going up and talking about how demonic and all this other stuff, and saying that the people need to leave their fraternity, leave their sororities. So members are shamed into denouncing organizations that provided identity and community bonds. Listen, man, you can say what you want about them folks. Some of y'all church organizations that be speaking out, and it's like, and then people come into this revelation that they need to pull away from, their sorority, or and then they get on social media and they make a long post and they tell everybody, I'm just wanting everybody, they need, you know what I'm saying? Because you left, you want everybody else to leave, and you telling these people to leave their organization, right? But while you telling them they need to leave their organization, are you creating anything that's going to fill that void of connection? Oh, you want them to follow you on social media so you can get a check, so they can listen to you talk bad about the fraternities and sororities, and they get a check, right? And so they leave their fraternity or their sorority, and where they going now? Who they gonna connect with now? They gonna connect with you? Oh, they gonna subscribe to your page. Okay, so where is the social interaction that they get? Oh, they get to follow you on social media. No. What about the in-person connection that they was able to get with that organization? See, that's why I don't deal with that stuff. Watch this. Even gangs, y'all, you want to tell the young dudes to get out of the gangs. So they leave the gang. Are you providing anything for them to socialize with? A group of people that will receive them and accept them after they leave the gang. Can they come to your church? Because they're going to have locks in their head. They're going to smell like weed. You understand? Their pants going to look a little different. Their clothes going to look a little different. Can they come in? They got a gold grill. with diamonds at the bottom. Can they come in your church? They might smell like they might smell like loud a little bit. After they lead a gang, can they come with you and spend time with you on a day-to-day basis? Oh, all they have access to is for you on Sunday. But with the gang, they with the gang every day. They socializing. They're in community with the gang. So can they get day-to-day community with you? Nah. So if they can't, it sounds like you need to leave them folks alone. Now, let's look at this. The anti-family movement. No more visits to grandma's house. Cousins, aunties, uncles, siblings, all disconnected from the foundation of identity and resilience. See, you get your sense of foundation, you get your sense of identity, and you get your sense of resilience from spending time with family. So you got the people on social media trying to discourage you from spending time with your family. Matter of fact, you got the religious people that got their newfound belief system, and they say, oh, y'all need to stop practicing these pagan holidays, and y'all need to stop because the Most High got a problem with your pagan holidays. In so many words, what they telling you is stop associating with your family and come associate with us. That's basically what they're telling you. Stop associating with your family and come associate with us. And if you don't want to come associate with us, I'm going to get on social media and talk bad about you from going to the family function because that's a pagan holiday, right? That's what it's all about. You trying to discourage the people from spending time with their folks so they can come spend time with you. So if you discourage them to stop fooling with their folks and come spend time with you, so anytime they get to mistreating you or handle you any type of way, you ain't gonna have nowhere to go because you told your folks you ain't fooling with them no more. So now you at the mercy of them. Man, look, bro, you can't trick me, dog. I understand. Listen, bro, I see straight through that. I see straight through it. And then aside from the people that with the religious situation, you know, you got people who, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, you got folks that's holding on to stuff, unforgiveness, you know what I'm saying? You got people, you know, they unforgiveness is off the chain. I'm talking about stuff that happened to them back in 1993. You feel me? Because you and your cousin got in an argument back in 95. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, your grandma liked it you better because you was light-skinned. You know what I'm saying? And the other one was dark-skinned. And so y'all got into it, you feel me, with some light-skinned, dark-skinned stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because grandma treated you a little better because you was light-skinned, and now you got a problem with your cousin. And so to this day, y'all don't fool with each other no more. And because your cousin gonna be at the family function, you ain't going to the family function because you don't fool with your cousin like that no more. Or because you got into it with your auntie during Christmas holidays, you know what I'm saying? Your auntie was a little drunk and she said something. She was a little out the way with what she said. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. And yes, stuff like that happens in the family structure, right? There's a lot of toxic family members that we have. Yes. Is our family structure perfect? No. Is there a lot of disappointment among our family structure? Yes. Right. But you have to understand that's the foundation of who you are. You understand? And it ain't all your cousins that's tripping. It ain't all your aunties that's tripping. It ain't all your uncles that's tripping. You feel me? You got folks in your family that love you. You got folks in your family that did right by you. You got folks in your family that really genuinely care about you and want to spend time with you. But because of that one or two cousins or your aunt, just one family member that you got a problem with, you done with the whole family. Man, y'all need to cut that out. You need to cut that out and you need to grow up. You need to grow up. You need to mature. You're acting like a 5-year-old. You need to grow up. You need to mature. You need to learn some conflict resolution skills. You understand? You need to learn forgiveness. You need to learn all of these different things that you need, because guess what? You run away from your toxic family. Guess what? You're going to run into them same toxic people on your job. You're going to run into them same toxic people in your friend group. And that's what you've been experiencing. And so that's why you pulled away from your family. That's why you pulled away from the folks on your job. That's why you pulled away from your friend group. And so now you sitting at home by yourself and you are participating in the loneliness epidemic. You trying to protect your feelings. You trying to protect your peace. And you finding yourself in this loneliness epidemic. I know I'm preaching, bro. Y'all ain't got to tell me. Now, here's an alternative. An alternative is what we call the chosen family. Everybody say the chosen family. The chosen families. These are friends who provide mutual respect, love, and acceptance. They become crucial sources of belonging when traditional ties fail. So if you got stuff going on with your biological family, where your family is just too toxic, I'm talking about where everybody is tripping, all your cousins is tripping, all your aunties and uncles is tripping. Now that's a possible thing. It's a lot of family. I had no idea. See, I always looked at family structures through the eyeglasses of my family. You know what I'm saying? That I have spent my life with. You know what I'm saying? And our folks, is there dysfunction in my family? Yes, it is. But our folks, my aunties and my uncles, see, I came along, you know what I'm saying? When I came along, a lot of my aunties and uncles, they were grandmothers and grandfathers. I'm talking about my aunties and uncles. They were grandmothers and grandfathers by the time I came along. You understand? And so a lot of my older cousins, you know what I'm saying? I got older cousins that's like, they like aunties, uncles, and grandmothers to me. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like my oldest auntie, like she was like my grandmother. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, so saying all that to say, they took the time out to build certain bonds and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Even if there was toxicity in the family, we didn't know nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? We didn't know nothing about it. And so because of that aspect, you know what I'm saying, I felt like everybody's family was rocking with each other like that. And then I found I'm looking around, hold on, wait. They don't, oh, y'all don't have no family reunions? Oh, y'all don't have no Sunday get-togethers? Oh, y'all don't all gather around on Thanksgiving? Like, no? For real? Like that just blew me away. You understand? And so with me understanding the fact that there's a lot of family situations in terms of, our extended family where people are indeed overwhelmingly toxic in the family structure. And so with that, with that being a thing, we have to operate in this thing called the chosen family, where these are individuals that you choose. Like, I want to spend time with them. I want to spend time with them. I want to spend time with them. And we're going to come together and we're going to create new traditions. We're going to have shared meals. We're going to do Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. This all your friends that they're not connected to you through biology. Y'all not biological family, but y'all create a sense of family among each other and y'all start new traditions where y'all get together and y'all do trips out of town. You see what I'm saying? Together on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? Support through interest groups, safety and meaningful connection. This is essential for mental well-being. This is essential. The paradox: as traditional bonds weaken, marriage, church, fraternities, chosen families emerge. So if you in situations where, okay, you're not doing marriage, You're not doing, relationships. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to have no children. You're not trying to, you don't want to go to church. You're done with church. You don't, you're not dealing with the fraternities anymore. Okay, now you need to find chosen families, right? Once you get these chosen families, the question is, are they enough to combat this epidemic? So this is what we're looking at, the domino effect. Marital decline. Fewer marriages, less partnership. Number 2, church exodus. Loss of spiritual community. So you're not getting married. You're not getting in relationships. You saying, I don't want to deal with nobody. I want to stay single. I don't want to fool with nobody like that. And then church exodus, people leaving church because they're quote unquote waking up and all this other foolishness. And they feel that they are too enlightened, or they're too smart, or they're too good to do church, right? So you ain't with nobody from a relationship standpoint. You don't do church, right? And then if you are in the religious sector, now you got people using shame to shame people to leave their fraternities and sororities, right? So you got people leaving the church, you got people not being in relationships, you got people leaving their fraternities and sororities because of the family fracture. Traditional bonds have been severed. So you don't fool with your mom and them, you don't fool with your auntie and them, you don't fool with your cousin and them. You don't go to church, you ain't got no significant other, right? What is this creating? The loneliness epidemic. Isolation becomes the norm. So now we're in situations where isolation is the norm. So with isolation being the norm, you got people looking forward. I'm talking about they looking forward to get home. They getting off work, they looking forward to get home, and they ain't fooling with nobody. Weekend come, they finna sit down, they finna watch their favorite series on TV. They gonna binge watch their favorite series. So they watching, their favorite series, their Netflix series, whatever the case may be. They sitting up, they just watching TV, they on their phone, they scrolling, this, that, and the third. This is all they do. This is all they do. Each broken connection feeds the next. Social media accelerates the cycle, turning division into profit while our communities crumble. I'm going to say that again. Each broken connection feeds the next. Social media accelerates the cycle, turning division into profit. Because everybody making money off of the division on social media. Content creators are making money off of the division, right? And while everybody is doing what they feel they need to do to get some money and make some money, that is impacting the marital situation, impacting the church situation, impacting different organizations that people are a part of, impacting the family structure, and all of that stuff is bringing together this issue called the loneliness epidemic. How does this affect our children? What we allow today becomes the reality that our children inherit tomorrow. Now, this is real because our children are watching. Our children are watching. And they watching as you sit up on social media. You don't fool with your children are paying attention to the fact that you don't want to associate with nobody. Your children are paying attention to the fact that you don't like nobody. You don't got no friends. Your children paying attention to you don't hang out with nobody. Your children paying attention Your children are listening to you on the phone, talking bad about your siblings. Your children is sitting, they listening to you on the phone, dogging out your auntie. Your children sitting on the phone listening to you curse out your mama. Your children is sitting around and they listening to you talk bad about your daddy. Right? So they learning. And they say, okay, so mama, daddy, whatever the case may be, they just sit up and dog folks out and sit on social media and talk about people on social media all day. Talk about trending topics. So the children, they invite themselves into that. So they sitting on their tablet since they was little bitty. They've been sitting on their tablet and they absorbing online hostility. They sitting up and they watching on the internet. You understand? Like people talking crazy and dogging each other out and cussing each other out and, you know, telling people that they, you know, to go unalive yourself and, you know what I'm saying? And they think that that's really how you supposed to operate because this is what they watching on social media, right? You know, think about it. It's a recent trending topic where it's two brothers who are very intelligent men, and they got on there and they was about to come to blows, right? And everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about it, right? And these children are watching this stuff. Oh, wow, look at how the adults operate. So guess what? They just follow suit. They follow suit. So what they're learning is they're learning, they are absorbing online hostility and they're normalizing conflict over collaboration. So they just sitting around, not talking to each other, not fooling with each other. And their real life is on the internet, right? So because their life is on the internet, guess what they doing on the internet? They making little nasty comments to each other and they talking crazy to each other on the internet and they cussing each other out on the internet. So when they see each other at school, when they see each other at the basketball game and the football game, what you think it's finna be? His own site. You understand? Losing connection skills. Without models of healthy community, they won't know how to build one. Did you hear that? Without models of healthy community, they won't know how to build one. So if your children are not watching you, if your children are not watching you in healthy community, if they're not watching you spend time with your cousins, with your aunties, with your mama, with your dad, if they're not watching you spend time with your friends, if they're not watching you investing time and energy into other people whenever y'all go to church, because you know you go to church and you go get the word and you out of there. Pew! You out of there because you don't fool with people like that. Guess who watching you? Your children. If they see that you ain't got no friend group that you associate with on a consistent basis, they watching you and they're gonna follow suit. So they're gonna sit around on their tablet and on their phone. You feel me? Like whatever you know place that they go to, they're like, man, I don't fool with these folks. I don't fool with these folks. Cause you know, in they head, they're like, you know, my real friends is on the internet, right? They saying to themselves, my best friend is, 342 Fire 342 from Tucson, Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their best friend. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? They ain't never seen this, never even seen a picture of this person. And they don't know who they talking to, who they dealing with. But they pouring out their feelings and talking to each other, talking about how they can't stand their mama and how they can't stand their daddy, and they, they upset that they, they asked for a 72-inch screen TV and their mama only got them a 50-inch screen, and so they hate their mama because their mama only got them a 50-inch screen. That's the type of conversations they having online with each other. You see what I'm saying? But if they're not seeing you build healthy community, they'll never know how to build one. So again, they just do all their stuff online. They just fool with the people that's online. I thought it was real cool, man. I had these conversations with my children. And, they do a lot of online stuff, but I appreciate the fact that they intentionally engage with people, you know what I'm saying, from a social setting standpoint. And I think that's real dope. You know what I'm saying? Went to my son's job and, everybody was just, hey, everybody was so excited to see my son. And I was like, man, that's what's up, man. That's my boy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just stuff like that, you know what I mean? And, they telling me, man, your son, he's very respectful and, you know what I'm saying, he communicates very well. And I'm like, man, that's what's up, man. I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, he's taking the initiative to do that. You know what I'm saying? So big shouts out to my son, man, for operating in that. My baby boy, he does a great job, communicating and talking to people and stuff like that. I had a conversation with my oldest son. He came home from college for Thanksgiving, and I thought it was so cool, you know what I'm saying, that he on purpose, he spent the whole time at the family function, hanging out and talking with everybody who was at the family function. He in the kitchen and, in the living room, in the dining room, and, he talking with everybody. We in there playing cards. He come in there playing cards. He's sitting down eating with us. Man, I thought that was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I said, bro, thank you for taking the initiative, man, to socialize with everybody. He was like, yeah, man, I'm really trying. You know what I'm saying? Oh, absolutely. He's like, yeah, I'm really trying to be intentional, you know what I'm saying? Because, I do, spend a lot of time talking to my friends online, but, because I talk to them, I help them to understand that online relationships, and this is, I want y'all to catch this. Online relationships, I call them Diet Coke relationships. Okay, why do I call them Diet Coke relationships? Because when if you drink Coke, right? You love the sugar and you love the caffeine, and that causes you to say, man, I love drinking Coke. But if you get a Diet Coke, it look like Coke, it kind of tastes like Coke, but that sugar is missing, and that kind of like throws everything off. So it's like it's almost it, but it ain't it. That's what online relationships is. So you talk to these people, you know what I'm saying? Y'all look at each other through a screen. Even if y'all doing video chat, y'all looking at each other through a screen, but y'all not really with each other, right? And so your biology does not get the same that it would get in person. Because when you're in person with someone, there is an exchange that takes place from a biological standpoint. So if all your friends is online and you have no friends in person, your biology begins to tell you that you're being abandoned. And when your biology is saying you're being abandoned, this increases cortisol levels. This increases anxiety levels. This causes depression because your body is telling you you are being abandoned. But you're like, but no, I got my friends that I talk to, such and such, and I'm talking to my friends, and and I'm like, bro, listen, it's not the same. It's not the same. You'll see people, you know what I'm saying, and they'll get on social media and they'll be on a live video and they'll start crying and stuff like that. I've done it before. I've cried, by a screen or on the screen, on camera, whatever. But I guarantee that thing that I cried about, I already got the opportunity to cry with someone else about it, right? Because when you cry in the midst of someone else, there's an exchange that takes place. You see what I'm saying? You get the opportunity, you know, somebody put their hand on your shoulder, man, it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, man, I'm praying for you, man. You know, it's all good. You get a hug, you know what I mean? You know, there's an exchange that takes place in that situation, and it causes your biology to feel like, I'm okay. I'm okay. There's an exchange that takes place. But when you're doing this on a screen, right? And you just got people commenting, you know what I'm saying? I love you so much. I'm so sorry. Da, da, da. You know, yeah, you're getting dopamine hits, but your biology is still saying, no one's here for you. No one's here for you. You see what I'm saying? So we have to do certain things. We have to be in community. We have to be around other people because that does something for our biology. Community is the key. To save the human family, we must rebuild what's been torn apart. Effective conflict resolution starts with awareness. Connection starts with intention. Community starts with us. So here are the things that we have to do. We have to choose connection. We have to reach out. We have to reach out to other people. Let other people know, hey, man, I really need to spend some time with you. You understand? You need to show up. When people got stuff going on, show up. We're in a cultural experience where, you know, people make commitments to go somewhere, but you know what I'm saying? The smallest thing happened. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't go. I can't show up. You know what I'm saying? But you need to push through those things and you need to show up. You need to show up. You need to be present in real life, not just online. If you're going to be online friends and stuff like that, you need to be having some, you know, y'all need to be having some quarterly meetups or something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to be, you know, if you know, for, you know, with your cousins and stuff like that, you know, y'all just talking to each other. Man, look, pull up on your cousin, spend some time with your cousin. You understand? Your cousin got children, go to your cousin, you know, children game or something. You know, your cousin getting married, you know, go to the wedding. I know this may inconvenience you or something like, but go to the wedding. Loved one died, show up to the funeral and spend some time at the repast. You understand? Be present in real life. All right. Resist division. Question narratives that put us against each other. Seek understanding. You need to question these narratives. Anytime these trending topics take place, you need to question these narratives. You need to pay attention to what's going on. Again, like with this whole Drewski situation, you need to pay attention to what's going on. Now, here it is, because of this imagery that you've seen in this video. Now, here it is. Now you looking at your pastor sideways now. Well, you know, pastor did have a pair of Jordans on last time. What he doing with Jordans on? The pastor don't supposed to have on no Jordans. You know, well, pastor did get a new car. I seen that he was driving a Lexus. You know, what pastor doing driving a Lexus? Oh, so that's what all the church money going? You know, see, that's what you know, because you know you got all of the people, you know, see, that's where all the money going in the church. The money going to the pastor. The money going to all the pastor getting all the money. Listen, do y'all realize that the average pastor salary is under $60,000 a year? I'm going to say that again. Do you realize that the average pastor salary is under $60,000 a year? So you got the pastor making under $60,000. Watch this. And still y'all making him responsible for doing all the weddings. He got to do all of the counseling sessions. He got to do all the funerals. He got to do all the housewarmings. He got to show up to all the sick people at the hospital. He got to go to all of the people you know, when people call and this and that, he got to be there for that, and he got to experience that. He got to go to, right? I'm talking about from a cultural standpoint, because biblical is not even required that the pastor do all those things, right? But from a cultural standpoint, you put the expectation that he got to do all the funerals, all the weddings, all the housewarmings. He got to do all the bar mitzvahs. He got to do everything. And he got to pray. And he got to spend time in the word. And he got to prepare messages. And he got to take care of his wife. And he got to spend time with his children. And he got to live right. So he got all those responsibilities for less than $60,000 a year. But when you seen Drewski do the skit, see, that why I don't fool with these pastors. They making all the money. Again, the average pastor makes less than, I said the average pastor makes less than $60,000 a year. Man, nah, because I've been on social media and I see these pastors and they got all these. Bro, on social media, you can count them pastors on your hand that got a significant amount of people in their church. And the majority of those pastors that got a significant amount of people in their church, they not making a whole lot of money off of what they doing for the church. This is the reason why many of those pastors have become content creators, so that they can make some money making content, because people ain't paying tithes and offering. Did you not realize that people paid more tithes and offering during the Great Depression than what they do today? Did you know that? I'll say that again. People paid more tithes and offering during the Great Depression than they do in 2026. That's crazy, right? But that's a reality. Did you also know that the more money people make, the less they contribute to church? Did you know that? So I'm just trying to help you to understand. Stop looking at these are agendas that are taking place to cause you to continue to have mistrust and distrust for the man of God. And that's something that started in the 60s and 70s. Whenever them blaxploitation films started coming out, that's when they started painting the preacher as this pimp-like figure that was taking all the money and taking all the women, right? And then those images continued on throughout the 80s. You remember going into the 90s, those images continued. You remember on Friday? Who is that? Miss Parker? Miss Parker. The Lord is my shepherd. He know what I want. And then he go in there, the preacher go in there and start messing with this married woman, and then her husband come home and he running out of the house, you know what I'm saying, with his drawers on, jumping in the Cadillac, and the man throw a brick in the window and call him a devil. You know what I'm saying? These are images that are going into your subconscious, causing you to have a sense of mistrust and distrust for the man of God. Why did this agenda take place? Think about it. During the civil rights movement and before that, who was the boots on the ground leaders in every movement that took place? It was the pastors and the preachers. So if I was the devil, I would create imagery to cause you to have distrust and mistrust for pastors and preachers. You see how that work? You see how that work? You see how that work? But nah, LP, man, these pastors, man, they don't be doing right, man. They don't be, man, they getting all the money and they taking all the women, and you know what I'm saying? They flexing on the people. I said, okay, name me one pastor that you know personally that they making millions of dollars. They taking all the women down through there, and they don't fool with the people if the people ain't paying tithes and offering. Name me one pastor that you know personally that fit that description. The person that we saw in the Drewski video, name me one pastor that you know personally that embodies what you saw in that video. Don't tell me, don't send me no screenshots of what you saw online. Pastors that you know personally that don't care nothing about the people, that's taking the people money, that's flossing designer clothes and everybody else in the church broke. Name me one pastor you know personally that get down like that. I guarantee you can't. But I guarantee you can name me a whole bunch of pastors that you know personally that love Jesus, love the people, teaching the people, they feeding the people, they praying for the people, they living upright before the people. I guarantee you can name me people that you know personally that's doing that. And guess what? You got mistrust for them. You got mistrust for them. It's people been knowing me 15, 20 years. 20 years. And I ain't did nothing but love them. I ain't did nothing but be of encouragement to them. I ain't did them nothing. I ain't did them nothing. But they got mistrust for me and distrust for me simply because I'm a preacher. That's just how it is, because people are their mind is being molded by these images that they see in, you know what I'm saying, in movies and social media and stuff like that. So we have to question narratives that put us against each other, and we have to seek understanding. And finally, what we have to do, whether traditional or chosen, we have to create spaces of belonging, purpose, and support. Whether traditional, whether it's with your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your mom and them, or whether it's the chosen family, meaning the people that you have chosen by hand to spend time with on a consistent basis, and y'all do things together. You need to create spaces of belonging, people that make you feel like you belong, people that give you a sense of purpose, and people that support you. Watch this. While at the same time, you make them feel that they belong. You love them unconditionally. You give them a sense of purpose, and you give them support. You do it simply because that's who you are, not because see, that's another issue that we have. And I'm gonna let y'all go on this one. That's another issue that we have. We in these situations where we become cool with people and we go all out. I'm talking about, man, we there for them, we doing this for them, we doing that for them, we coming around, you know what I'm saying? We show up for them, you know, they gotta, you know, they get a flat on the highway, you know, they call you, you show up, you change the tire, and you go all out, right? And you do all this stuff. And the moment they don't reciprocate the way you do, you make up in your mind that they don't love you, and you cut them off. Why you cut them folks off? Man, cause man, I did this for them, and then when I needed them, they wasn't there for me. And bro, why you gotta bring up what you did for them? Anytime somebody gotta bring up what they did for you, they didn't do it with the right motive. Anytime somebody gotta bring up what they did for you, they didn't have the right motive when they did it. So the same for you. Don't you ever bring up what you did for somebody and throw it in their face. That includes your children. Moms, don't you dare get on your high horse and get to talking about, I spent 22 hours in labor with you, and I did it. No, don't bring that up to your children. Don't bring that up to your children. What you did for don't bring that up to your children. because you throwing that in your children's face and you commanding them to be, I was loyal to you, so I'm gonna make sure you better be loyal to me, because if you don't, I'm gonna keep throwing up all what I did. No, that's not right. That's not right. So the same thing, man, when you're dealing with people, you did something for folks. Don't you ever bring that up and throw that in their face that you did this for them. You understand? So when you do stuff for people, you do it because listen, because that come out of the kindness of your heart. Because that's the type of person you is. When you doing what you're doing for people, you do it because that's what you own. Simple as that. Simple as that. You understand? So we go ahead and wrap it up, man. Thank y'all so very much, man, for rocking out with me. You know what I'm saying? Kicking it with me on the Trap Playing Radio, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you desire to make a contribution, you know what I'm saying? You see the QR code on the screen, man. Go ahead and scan that QR code on the screen, man. Show some love to your boy. You know what I'm saying? Much love to you. I appreciate y'all. Thank God for y'all. And I pray that this message was a blessing to you. You know? So, I love y'all. God bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord keep you. Y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns before I get off? You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate y'all greatly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with that. Okay, I'm leaving the chat because I can't get an answer. No doubt. Y'all be blessed. Holla at your boy.